Greetings and welcome to the pick a card for the week of Sunday, December 8th through December 14th. Sunday, December 8th through Saturday, December 14th. This week, we are looking at what we most need to know, do, and be aware of in general. Like what should be our primary focus this week. We are in the middle of December and the middle of Sagittarius season, but we also have a full moon in the sign of Gemini this week. And so what do we most need to know, do, and be aware of this week? What should be our primary focus? You should select from card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. Comment your card selection down below in order to be entered to win our December giveaway. Hey y'all, so y'all get to see my face 2 pick a card readings in a row. Actually, when I start reading the cards, it will be back to my hands. I normally only come on when I'm announcing the winner, and this isn't a winner announcement week. However, this is a week for you to qualify to be our December winner by commenting your card selections down below. Card group number 1, 2, or 3. If you comment by Monday, what's Monday? December 9th. Then you're automatically entered to win our December giveaway. And each week that you do that, your name is added to the hat an additional time. And so this December giveaway, I'm not going to tell y'all what it's, I usually don't tell y'all what it's going to be, but I'm not going to tell you right now, but I will probably at least tell y'all next week because I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit bigger than what I normally give away. So make sure you continue to tune in for all the pick a card readings. So I just filmed a live video on my Facebook page, Tonya Poole Enterprises. And so that's why, I said, well, I might as well just at least come on here because the camera is still set up for for that. So I said, let me come on and just do my opening intuitive message face to face before we get into these cards. So, y'all, we are in the middle of Sagittarius season, and I hope that you all have taken advantage of the video that I posted. Everybody's a Sagittarius, including you. That link is down below. And y'all know I do these some of y'all may not know if this is your first time watching, but every season, every time we enter into a new zodiac sign, I do a video called Everybody's a Fill in the Blank, including you. So, last season, a month ago, I did Everybody's a Scorpio, including you, so on down the line. Because no matter what your sun sign is, whatever sign we are collectively in, that is the sign that is teaching us the lessons. And so Sagittarius is all about growth and expansion and your aspirations and actually having the courage to take the risk to get there. So make sure you watch that video because I go into a lot of detail about that, but I also go through each sign. So I say, if you're an Aries, what should Aries be doing right now during Sagittarius season? If you're a Capricorn, what should Capricorn be doing during Sagittarius? I don't know why I can't ever say that. What should Capricorn be doing during Sagittarius season? So I go through all 12 signs, but I also talk about what is Sagittarius energy and how we should be focusing on that. But the Facebook Live that I just filmed, and you can go on my Facebook page and I'm wearing this exact same thing. I talk about us being at the end of 2019, being at the end of a decade, and the 3 things that we all need to be focusing on right now or doing right now to prepare for the next decade and the next year. And so I talk about how we're moving past 2 plus 2, right? Just like when we're in kindergarten, you're in 2 plus 2, you're doing those simple math problems. But, by the time you're in high school, hopefully you should be able to do those more complex algebraic math problems. And this ain't, to say that you should be able to do that specifically. But in general, in life, when we elevate out of our lower levels, or once we, overcome an obstacle or a challenge, what happens next is we reach the next level, which comes with this new challenges, right? That we have to master. And that is what Sagittarius season is all about. It's about, your aspirations and your growth, your personal growth and your expansion, how you are expanding into the world. And so make sure you watch that Facebook Live video. Y'all probably watching this video on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever. So anyway, I filmed it on Saturday, December 7th. So on my Facebook page. So make sure you check that out. But, as far as my opening intuitive message and what I was really feeling, it kind of piggybacks on that Facebook Live, because I talked about a quote from Jim Rohn that says, "Don't wish for things to be easier. Wish that you were better," which is classic Sagittarius season, classic this time that we're in right now. That's really what we should be focusing on, like not wishing that everything was easier or that the bar was set lower, the standard was lower, but that we could master what seems complex. Because and if you think about it, when you were a kid, right, when you were in kindergarten and first grade, the challenges that you felt at that time in your life, you probably are laughing at right now. Like, I can't believe I was that mad, over my Lego toy. I can't believe I was that hurt by that situation or whatever, right? Because what was so challenging at that time, now that you're older, hopefully you're able to see things from a different perspective. And, what was so challenging then is nothing now. Like, you could easily problem solve. And so that's really what life is all about. It's about continuously growing to your next level, continuously elevating, and facing new challenges. And that's what Sagittarius season really gives us the fire. It's a fire sign. Sagittarius season really gives us the fire to actually believe we can overcome every obstacle, every challenge, that we're unstoppable, right? And so, for this pick a card reading, I was piggybacking on that Facebook Live, and I'm like, okay, what should we all be focusing on right now? What I always say, what do we all most need to know, do, and be aware of? But more specifically, like, what really should be our focus this week as we are bringing 2019 to a close, as we are all looking forward to 2020, as we're bringing this decade to a close. What should we be focusing on right now? How should we be wishing to or aspiring to be better instead of wishing for things to be easier in our lives? This week, we will have a full moon in the sign of Gemini, which is Sagittarius's opposite sign. And so Gemini energy is very fast moving. It's fast paced. It's like Gemini energy always makes me think about like that 3-year-old who, is so focused on one thing and then they quickly change and focus on another thing and they quickly change and, they're just experimenting with life. And so having that Gemini full moon, while we're also in the sign of Sagittarius, where the sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, it's like this week we are all challenged to kind of look back over the year at all the little things that we wanted to try, attempt, all of the things that maybe fear held us back from trying and attempting. If you ever look at a fearless 3-year-old, like, they are almost like, you've got to keep your eye on them, right? Because they're doing this, they're doing that, they're all over the place. Sometimes it can be kind of dangerous, but that's how they are exploring their world. And so this week we are all being challenged to look at, how do we explore ourselves this whole year? Did we just stick with what we know and do what we've always done, play it safe, which oftentimes leads to stagnation and frustration? Or did we challenge ourselves to step outside of ourselves? What risk did we actually take in order for ourselves to grow? And what I'm also feeling right now is that, it's not about taking risks that are life-threatening or challenging in that way. It's about taking risks that help you to grow. That's what this week I really feel like it's all about. Like, those challenges and those risks, letting even letting go of the things that you think you can't let go of, because in order to go to your next level, you have to let go of what you your comfort zone, you know, what you're safe with, right? And so, you know, that feels like a risk, that feels like a challenge, that feels very scary a lot of the times, because, you know, the comfort zone is safe even when it's not safe, right? Even if you know, let's just say, you know, if you are in a abusive relationship, but you've been in that relationship for 5 years, that relationship starts to feel safe to you because that's all you know. You don't know if you can survive outside of that relationship. You don't know what life is like not being with that person. You probably started to not even trust yourself or believe in yourself, you know, which diminishes your self-worth, your self-esteem, all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, well, I might as well stay. What is the saying? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. But like a good friend of mine always says, when she hears that statement, she was like, well, I don't want to deal with the devil at all. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be free from the devil I know and the devil I don't know, right? Or the, you know, the things that are holding me down or, you know, keeping me in a low vibrational state. I want to let go of that. And so sometimes we are stuck in certain patterns, and it doesn't have to be as dramatic as, you know, an abusive relationship. But, you know, we all have those things that make us feel safe and secure, but at the same time are preventing us from moving to our next level, preventing us from ascending and moving forward. And so how do we, you know, take that Sagittarius energy and plow forward and move forward and have the courage to advance beyond where we are? That is what this week's reading is all about. You know, what do we all need to focus on, know, do, and be aware of at this time using this Sagittarius energy, which is all about, you know, having the courage to take the risk. It's not about having all of the answers. You know, Sagittarius energy is not about having all of the answers. It's just about knowing that where you've been, you're done with that because you're ready to move on to the next level. And so that is what we should all be focusing on this week. So y'all, real quickly, y'all see behind me, the magic of self-love. Get it? It is available on Amazon. That link is down below. Self-love is not just a woo-woo kind of feeling. It is literally a tool that can be used to transform your life for the better. There are 9 chapters in that book, and so I guide you through the 9 different ways to actually elevate in self-love so that you can come out of self-sabotage, fear, making the same mistakes over and over again. And then at the end of each chapter is an assignment to help you implement what you learn in the book. And so make sure you get that. That link is down below. Also, book a personal reading. Y'all, I am doing the 2020 year ahead readings, and y'all don't want to miss that. You just don't, because I tell you, you know, in those readings, I show you, or I explain to you what you personally need to leave behind in 2019, what lessons from 2019 you need to take with you in 2020, what you need to be doing right now to prepare for 2020, and what the energy is kind of looking like, you know, going ahead into the new year. Invest in yourself. And book that reading with me while those are still available. And it's not going to be at the Black Friday sale price that I had, but the link that's down below is at a discounted rate. So make sure that you get that reading now. Don't wait until 2020 to start thinking about 2020. Like, focus on that now, you know, prepare now. So, and then also down below is a link to that same link, if you will, to leave a love offering or a donation. I have access to you can access my Cash App and PayPal. If these readings or any of my work is benefiting you in any way, you just want to show your love. Like, I really do appreciate that. And it doesn't have to be a big donation amount. Any amount I appreciate, and I'm thankful for. So make sure that if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way, that you do that as well. So that is it for my opening intuitive message and for my announcements. Make sure that you share this video, like, and subscribe to my channel, and share these videos with people that you think might benefit from this as well. All right, so that is it. So if you selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so those of you who selected card group number 1, here is your reading. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you skipped ahead. Make sure that you comment your card selections by Monday, December 9th, if you want to be in the running to win our December giveaway. Make sure you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because I really talk about us being in Sagittarius season and about to experience a full moon in the sign of Gemini this week of this particular reading, and how that is playing out for all of us this week. And so what we are needing to really focus on at this time. I also mentioned that I have my 2020 year ahead readings available, and you want to make sure you get those now while they're still available. I actually still have them on sale, so you want to make sure you get them now so that you can prepare for 2020 now. Don't wait for 2020 to prepare for 2020. And also to leave a love offering or a donation. Those links are down below as well. Make sure you share, comment, like this video, subscribe to my channel. All right, so that's it. Okay, so card group numero uno. That was very my accent wasn't right. Anyway, so the stone that is on top of your cards is a tiger's eye. And tiger's eye is one of those stones. It's really good for a lot of things. It really taps into the sacral and the solar plexus chakras. So it really deals with or helps with your willpower, your confidence, your self-confidence, and self-esteem. It also helps with your creativity. Helping you to see things in a creative light, helping you to tap into your own creative abilities. A lot of you are probably way more creative than you give yourselves credit for. So tiger's eye really helps with that. It's also a stone of protection and courage. So it gives you courage, or assists you in giving you courage if you have to face things that are challenging. But it's also, for many centuries, has been used as a stone or like an amulet for protection and whatnot. And so, you know what I always tell y'all to do? If you want to know more about this stone, make sure that you Google tiger's eye. All right, so let's see which goddess came up for you all. Those of you, if this is your first time watching, this card right here comes from a goddess energy deck. And the goddesses, whether you believe that they actually existed or not, doesn't matter. It's really their stories that help to give us the lessons, teach us the lessons that we all need to know. Whether you're a man or woman, it doesn't matter, because the goddesses speak to us all. So the goddess that came up for you all this week, wow, Skuld. And as you see there, she deals with the future. Oh my gosh, y'all really need to make sure y'all go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because I talk about, us going into 2020, leaving behind 2019, but also leaving behind this entire decade. And I also mentioned in that video, I mentioned that I also have just recently uploaded a Facebook Live video. I don't know if I can share that link down below here. If I can, I'll try to do that. But in the Facebook Live video that I just did on Saturday, December 7th, I talk about, the 3 things that we all need to be doing right now in preparation for 2020 and in preparation for elevating to our next level, because it's not about doing things the same. It's not about staying in our comfort zones. It's really about taking those risks to move beyond where we are. And so it's very interesting that you all receive Skuld, because she deals with the future and helping you to see the future, and not necessarily in a predictive kind of way, like this is going to happen to you, what I'm saying, sort of thing, but more so about what the future looks like and what the future may hold, and how you shape your future in your present moment. So you cannot wait for 2020 to prepare for 2020. You prepare for that now. So let's see what she has to say. I will read, excuse me. I will read 2 messages from Skuld. The first one is the empowerment message. And then the second one is her alignment message, which is, gives you guidance on what you need to know should you come out of alignment with her empowerment message. All right. So the empowerment message from Skuld says, as you set your intentions for the life you desire, the Norse goddess Skuld comes to show you glimpses of your future. You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration, like an echo of something that exists in another dimension. It's fun when things turn out exactly as you predicted, but remember that the essence of your intention means much more than its form. The goddess Skuld, who rules the destiny of gods and men, says remaining true to the moment is your greatest power. Didn't I just tell y'all that? It's not about just in the future. You prepare for the future in the present moment. All right, continue. Allowing the self to evolve as you go and discovering new things today sets the path for destiny to unfold. The power of the present and how you respond to life's potential is the potent fertile seed of the future. In order to claim the future, you must attend to the now. Even then, nothing is guaranteed and everything is infused in magic. All right. And so her alignment message says, when you become overly fixated on the future, you rob yourself of the capacity to truly co-create a life that is meaningful and rich. It's because doing so gives your power away to some destination that has no substance. It's like you are wandering around in a ghostly place that the goddess Skuld warns you to avoid. Perhaps you've been taught that better things come later, like getting to the wonders of heaven after difficulties on earth. The truth is that you can get back into alignment. So consider this. Your life now and how you respond to it are the seeds that will grow into your future. Your alignment task is to remove all the weeds before they choke the life out of your intentions. Bless your life today. Find the lessons in the conditions of your world and be compassionate to yourself and others. We are all learning to find strength in our most vulnerable selves as the world changes rapidly around us. The goddess Skuld is with you all the way and always. Wow. So, when I look at this alignment task and it says that your life now and how you respond to it are the seeds that will grow your future. I really talk about that in the Facebook Live that I just mentioned, the Facebook Live that I did on December 7th. But I talk about, how that there are three things that we are all needing to be aware of and focus on in the moment right now so that our next decade can be better than this decade that we're coming out of. And even if even if this past decade, 2009 to 2019 was a great decade for you, it is always about elevation and growth. And with us being in Sagittarius season, and I really hope that you take the time to watch Everybody's a Sagittarius, including you. That link is down below as well, because I really share how Sagittarius season is all about growth and expansion. So no matter what our sun signs are, we are all challenged to, challenge ourselves to take risks that help us to grow and to elevate. And these risks don't have to be life-threatening or, anything like that. We just have to challenge ourselves to get out of our comfort zones in order to grow. And if you're future tripping, like the alignment message says, let's just say you're somebody who's, always just, thinking about the future and what's going to happen and blah, 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 but you're never preparing for it in the now, then your future will always look like what it looks like, in the moment. And then there will be no growth and no elevation. You build the future now in this present moment. And so Skuld is reminding those of you who selected card group number 1 this week to really begin to look at your future. Imagine what you want your future to be like, but then what do you have to do right now in order to set yourself up for that future that you were saying that you want for yourself. All right. So your present moment, if I had to sum this up, your present moment is equally as important, if not more important, than your future, because it is your present moment that will build and create the future that you are saying that you want for yourself. All right. So you know what I always tell you to do? If you want to know more about this goddess, make sure you Google Skuld, because all of the goddesses have their own stories, their own mythology. That when you really understand their storylines, then it gives you a deeper insight onto the messages that they have for you. All right. So these cards here, the one on the bottom tells you, you know, kind of where your current energy is or what you need to know right now. And the card that crosses it helps you to know what can help or hinder this first card here. All right. So you receive, wow, the 7 of Cups, and it is crossed by the 10 of Cups. The 7 of Cups, and it is crossed by the 10 of Cups. This is very interesting. Okay. Wow. All right. So the 7 of Cups is a card of, and somebody got this last week, I believe, but the 7 of Cups is a card of many options. And while options are great, everybody likes options. Nobody likes to think that they only have one choice. People like to know that they have options, that they have choices, right? But the problem with this right here, this 7 of Cups, is there are so many options that it leaves you in a place of stagnation and confusion, because you don't know what to choose. You could choose this, you could choose that, you could go there, you could stay here, you could have this, you could have that, you know. And so it's like when you're at an intersection of a road, and there's like, you could turn left, right, keep going straight, you can go back, you know, so many different ways that you can turn, that it kind of leaves you frozen because you don't know which way to go. With it being a Cups card, it means that this isn't just a mental, you know, like mental confusion, or, you know, it's not a mental thing. It's really emotional. The Cups deal with your emotions, your feelings, you know, heart, matters of the heart. And so the 7 of Cups indicates that there are some options before you that appear good on the surface, but if you dig a little deeper, actually will leave you emotionally unfulfilled or drained or sad or, you know, heartbroken. Then there are some options that on the surface maybe perhaps look a little less exciting or a little less inviting, but if you dig a little deeper, they actually have they can actually promise way more fulfillment to you over the long term. And so the 7 of Cups, when I see this card, I know that it's a time to really get into your prayer and meditative state and really get clear about what you want, especially since you got the future card here with Skull. You know, get clear about what you want your future to look like. You know, like for example, this cup here has the laurel wreath that is usually given to people who have, it used to be given to people like in the Olympics back in like centuries ago. They would wear a laurel wreath around their head to indicate that they were the champion, that they had won, you know. And so, you know, where are you wanting to be a champion in your life? Where are you wanting to be recognized for your achievements? But again, with this being a 7 of Cups, you know, are you only about getting recognition? Are you only wanting to be recognized without doing the work? You know, or are you wanting recognition because you're in a state of feeling low about yourself and you feel like, well, if people would just acknowledge me, if people would just celebrate me, then I would feel good about myself, you know, because that kind of, if you got that kind of recognition, it still would not be emotionally satisfying, because the true recognition that is required to really make you feel good comes from the inside first, and then is recognized from people around you. So if your self-esteem and your self-worth is built upon what other people are saying about you, or people are sharing your Facebook posts, or people are recognizing your achievements, but you're not recognizing your own achievements, and you're not celebrating and loving and honoring yourself, then that kind of, even if you got this, it would be emotionally unsatisfying. And so all of these cups have, you know, can have dual meanings, you know. This one here has a tower in it. And a lot of times, you know, the tower in tarot represents when things are falling completely apart and, you know, things, you know, destruction. But sometimes destruction has to happen in order to rebuild what you really desire. So that's a cup that looks devastating at first, but the reward of it is maybe sweeter than what you expected. So really go over the things that you say that you want for your life, and ask yourself, you know, like, what am I willing to do to get there? And why. Ask yourself why you want what you say you want. And make sure that your motives are even clear, because some of the things that we think will give us the emotional rewards that we desire really may not. So you have to really get clear about what emotional fulfillment are you actually seeking. And then when you know that, you'll know if it can come from being recognized for your achievements, or having to tear down certain walls, or this is a heart in this cup, will it come from matters of the heart, or will money be the thing that satisfies? You know what I'm saying? So really, focus on that, because that's how you'll get the clarity that you are looking for. And so the 10 of Cups is a card of like total emotional satisfaction and joy and happiness and contentment with life. And so again, you are highly encouraged, because this card was crossing this. Ask yourself, what does happiness really mean to you? You can't look at other people's lives and say, well, if I had what she had, I would be happy. If I was doing what he was doing, then I would be happy. Because what they're doing and what they have is what makes them happy, but it may not be what will make you happy. And dig deeper too, because sometimes you can do the same thing as somebody else, but you may want it to come to you in a different kind of way. Like you may be assuming that your happiness will come from, I'm just going to give an example. That's the only way I can do this. From saying, oh, I've got to start my own business if I want to get this money, right? If I want to get this money that's in this cup, I got to start my own business. I got to, because I saw Sarah and she started her own business and now she's a multimillionaire. So that's the way I've got to do it. But your money might come from you climbing the corporate ladder. Your money may come from an inheritance. Your money may come, so the outcome is still the same, but the method through which you get there might be different. So you have to ask yourself, yes, Sarah got her millions through being a business owner, but does being a business owner bring you the emotional satisfaction and total joy? The process of being a business owner, does it give you that? Or are you only looking at, the end result, because there's a lot of people who have money that are unhappy. There are a lot of people who are married who are unhappy. There are a lot of people who have all of these achievements and successes on the surface, but are not happy underneath. So you have to ask yourself what, really brings you the emotional satisfaction, contentment, and joy. And then, imagine yourself doing those things. Again, you got the tiger's eye, which really deals with your self-confidence and your courage and your creativity. How does your creativity show up in the world? How can you be uniquely yourself and find the joy, the happiness, the love, the emotional satisfaction and success that you desire for your life? Those are the questions that you need to be asking yourself and focusing on this week. And so your wisdom card, let's see which card you received. Wow. Exchanging gifts. I like this card because it really deals with the law of reciprocity, right? Of giving and receiving, and understanding that, in order to, there's giving and receiving. It's not just all receiving and it's not just all giving, but we experience both. And so exchanging gifts says, wow, the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing costs, and determining value. You're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. Wow. Did we not just say this with this card here? All manners of opportunities. All manners of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time to just do, but use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. And so this is very important because, if I go back to the example of starting a business, right, or working the corporate ladder, or whatever, everything that we do in life, no matter what you do, and not just in matters of money, but even in like matters of the heart. These are cup issues, right? Cup cards. So matters of the heart deal with giving and receiving. What is the love that you're giving? What is the love that you're receiving? What is the work that you're giving? What is the work that you're, or the outcome that you're getting back? Are you balancing your giving and receiving? And is your giving done in a place of knowing your worth and your value and your self-love and your self-worth, and also appreciating and valuing the gifts and talents of others? Like the card said, you are entering into a time where there's all manner of opportunities, but you also have to know that with every one of these opportunities comes work, comes, there is some level of giving and receiving. And that's why you can't just look at what you will receive from, a possible one of these cups. You know what I mean? You can't just look at what you will receive, but you'll have to look at what is going to be required of you. How much of your own money or time or energy or love or, just heart energy has to be poured into that thing in order for it to work. So for example, you may say, oh, I want this love relationship, but yeah, how much is that love relationship going to cost you in, heart, in love energy, right? It's not just about somebody loving you, but it's also about the love that you will give to them. So always think about in which ways will you be the most happy, the most content now and going into the future. And then that will help you to determine which cup you should choose, which career you should take, which, lover you should have, what opportunity, whatever it is for you. And then also be clear on what you will have to give in exchange for having that opportunity in your life, because nothing is free. Nothing is free. There's always that give and take, and that give and take is not always money, but it's, it comes in so many other forms. All right. So that is your wisdom for this week, December 8th through the 14th. Make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, December the 9th, in order to be entered to win our December giveaway. Share, like, subscribe to my channel and share these videos. Also, make sure that you click the links below to watch my Facebook live video that I did. And also Everybody's a Sagittarius, including you, because that's really going to help you to have deeper insight and wisdom on the reading that you received today. All right. So that is it for your reading this week. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. Oh, and make sure that you get your 2020 year ahead reading. Like, don't sleep on that, y'all. It could really, really, really help you and be life-changing for you. So I'm actually looking forward to doing those readings for you all this month. All right, so that is it. Thank you all so much for watching, and until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, y'all, so welcome to the results reading for card group number 2. I will quickly go over some announcements just in case you were one of the ones who skipped ahead and missed it. So make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, December the 9th. If you want to be entered to win our December giveaway, make sure you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because I talk about how we are in the middle of Sagittarius season. We are we're going to experience a full moon in the sign of Gemini. So both of those this week. So both of those energies are working on everybody this week on, challenging us to be able to come out of our comfort zones and to take risks that will help us to personally elevate. So I really go in on that during the opening intuitive message. And I also mentioned a Facebook Live that I did on Saturday, December 7th. Hopefully that link is down below as well, because I talk about the 3 things that we all need to be doing right now in preparation for elevating to our next level. And so anyway, so this week, we're looking at what we almost need to know, do, and be aware of. Being in Sagittarius season, like what should we be focusing on right now? And then I also announced that I have some openings for my 2020 year ahead readings. So you don't want to miss that. Don't wait for 2020 to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you book those readings now while they are available. And then like, subscribe, comment, share these videos, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that, and leave a love offering if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way. All of the links to everything I just said are down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I just want to say I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You all received a blue lace agate on the top of your cards, and this is such a pretty card. Look at it. I mean, stone. What did I say? Did I say stone the first time? I don't know. Anyway, so blue lace agate gemstone is what you all received. I really love this stone. It's so pretty. And it is a stone that helps with bringing clarity to your mind, especially if you have a lot of choices or you just don't know what to do, or you have trouble even speaking up for yourself. I mean, even with it being one of these blue stones, the color is very much connected to that throat chakra. So if you have trouble getting your words out or trouble expressing yourself, which is very interesting with this going into, I believe on the 12th of this month, sometime in the middle of the week, December 12th, we are experiencing a full moon in the sign of Gemini. And one of Gemini's features is helping us to be able to communicate and self-expression. And so we may feel those challenges this week, like, hey, you know, that full moon is like, hello, have you self-express? Are you afraid of, you know, expressing yourself or telling people how you feel, or even communicating what I'm feeling? Some of you may even be communicating your thoughts and your opinions. So it might not just be your feelings, but it could be like when you're at work and you're in a staff meeting and everybody's chiming in on, you know, the changes that they want to see or their ideas, and you're afraid to speak up even your ideas, like because you don't know how people will receive them, or you don't want to, you know, be rejected. And so you're not even speaking up, you know, at a time when everybody's expressing their opinions, and it's the time to express their opinions. So, you know, something that may be helpful to some of you all. So anyway, so blue lace agate really helps with communication, self-expression, clarity of mind. And it's also one of those stones. Sometimes I sleep with it under my pillow because it has a peaceful kind of energy to it. So anyway, so you know what I always tell y'all to do. If you want to know more about this stone, make sure you Google blue lace agate. All right, so the card on top of here, and I just want to say welcome to all of my new viewers. If this is your first time watching, thank you for tuning in. The card on top of here, it comes from a goddess deck, and the goddesses speak to us all, whether we are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. And whether you believe the goddesses actually existed in physical form or not, it does not matter. It's really just their stories and their messages and the lessons from their stories that help us. And so the goddess that came up for you all this week, y'all, this one here has been coming up, I swear, it seems like every week. And when I shuffle the deck, I always say, okay, goddesses, okay, which one of y'all has, you know, the words to speak to my audience this week? Like, who has? And she has been coming up. So some of you, if you have been watching, you know, me for any time now, some of you may have gotten her. I think she might have even came up last week, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quite remember, but she's been coming up a lot. So some of you apparently need to hear her message and learn the lesson that she has for you. This is the goddess Kuan Yin, and as you see on here, she deals with compassion. And I like to remind you all that, you know, these readings are collaborative. You all are joining in. It's not just me telling you something about your life. So, you know, use your own intuition to let these cards speak to you. And also take whatever I say that applies to you, take it. And if it doesn't, you know, just listen, you know, focus in on the parts that really speak to you. But Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion. She reminds us of the importance of not only being compassionate towards others and showing that love and that, you know, that compassion and understanding to others, but also to yourself. And I'm a firm believer that, you know, the love and compassion and whatnot that we show ourselves is really the same measure of love that we give to others. And that's why I have my book, The Magic of Self-Love, linked down below. Because that self-love, is not just when you love yourself and when you're compassionate to yourself, then that same love and compassion extends outward, and you're able to love and show compassion to other people. And so you can only give what you have. And so Kuan Yin teaches us all to be compassionate to ourselves, but also to the world around us, and vice versa. So I'm going to read 2 messages from Kuan Yin. The first one is her empowerment message, and then I will read the alignment message just in case you find yourself out of alignment with her empowerment message, okay? So the empowerment message says, compassion is what's needed right now to help you release perfectionism and defensiveness. The purpose of compassion is to help reduce suffering in the world, to be mindful not to judge yourself or others too harshly as you stumble through life's obstacle course. In fact, tuning in to the energy of compassion and kindness almost instantly eradicates the stirred up energy of controlling thoughts and knee-jerk behaviors. The Chinese goddess of compassion, Kuan Yin, offers a gentle nudge to ask yourself this question: what would kindness do in this situation? If you approach everything with that in mind, you will discover solutions and new paths unfolding before you. In fact, living with compassion as your guide really changes everything, right down to the products you buy and the food you eat. Today, make kindness a priority. The world will be a better place as you will feel amazing as you see the world will be a better place, and you will feel amazing as you see the miracles light up where you least expect them. So that's a very powerful empowerment message. Especially what was standing out to me were the first 2 lines that says, compassion is what's needed right now to help you release perfectionism and defensiveness. The purpose of compassion is to help reduce suffering in the world, so be mindful not to judge yourself or others too harshly as you stumble through life's obstacle course. And some of you really need to be aware of that at this time. Even with the stone, blue lace agate, I said that it really helps, if you have trouble expressing yourself, or and some of you may have trouble expressing yourself, or standing up for yourself, but it might not even be just standing up for yourself. It might just be like sharing the ideas and opinions that you have, because you feel they're not perfect enough. You're dealing with perfectionism. You're like, oh man, if I say this, then everybody's going to shoot it down, or nobody's, and you have to understand that when you share your ideas, or your opinions and whatnot, even if you receive feedback, take it as feedback and constructive criticism. Don't see it as, oh man, they gave me criticism, or they gave me some tweaks to my ideas, so that must mean it wasn't perfect enough. Nothing is perfect enough. You know what I mean? We're all learning how to perfect our crafts, learning how to perfect ourselves. We're growing, ever growing into better versions of ourselves. And so don't, expect yourself to be perfect. And also don't be so defensive if somebody gives you that feedback or that criticism, because then that defensiveness is what then keeps you locked and stuck and keeps you from growing and elevating. And what I said in my opening intuitive message, if you listen to it, I talked about, really coming out of those comfort zones that keep you from expanding and growing. And that's what Sagittarius season is all about. And so, that's just something to really be mindful of. So let's read what the alignment message says. The alignment message says, are you feeling overwhelmed by all the suffering in the world and you can't imagine how you could make a difference? Do you feel hopeless over how we treat nature and each other? The goddess Kuan Yin knows that this is an important time of reckoning and reordering, but wants you to be careful not to fall into a pit of despair. If you allow the media to fill your mind with a constant barrage of what's wrong in the world, you will become numb and unable to move. The good news is, in your alignment task, First, focus your mind locally. Your choice is not to save the world, but to bring your attention to where you can help. Even the smallest step toward a greater compassion is huge. Educate yourself about cultural issues and be better and more conscious and sensitive about your choices. Lend a helping hand to someone in need, volunteer your time, and choose one act of random kindness daily to help alleviate suffering. Do what you can and make it count. Always ask in your work, your relationships, and in your community, how will what I do serve others well? Remember, if you don't get it right, you can always course correct. With commitment, you will add more beauty to the world. Everyone is learning right now, and Kuan Yin reminds you to be kind to yourself too, as you accept your role in birthing a new world into being. So, what really is standing out to me in this particular, in the alignment message, is that, ask yourself in all areas of your life, ask yourself, how will what I do serve others well? And remember, if you don't get it right, you can always course correct. So it's not about being perfected or dealing with perfectionism. It's not about being perfect, getting everything right. It's not about avoiding judgment or criticism, because sometimes that is what is needed in order to help us to grow, help you to grow. But just know that, so don't worry about getting everything right, but ask how I will serve. And if you're keeping your mouth closed when it should be open, if you're not expressing even your views and your opinions, then, how is that helping your workplace? How is that helping your relationship? How is that helping, all of the areas of your life, if you don't even show up and give, share your view and your perspective and how you can help and change and all of that. So your opinion does, or your views do matter. And, you bring something to your world. You bring something to your relationships, to your career, to your art, to your whatever it is that you do or find yourself involved in. And so it's also about understanding your own value and your own worth. And when you understand that, then you can speak clearly without feeling like you're being picky or judgy and doing that. You're not doing that at all. You're just adding your own light and your own perspective into, the areas of your life. All right. So what I always tell you all to do, if you want to know more about this goddess, because all of the goddesses have their own stories and mythology that can help us. So Google Kuan Yin and read her story and just learn more about her and her message. All right. So these cards here, the one on the bottom, this one here tells you kind of where you are now and what you kind of, need to know right now in your life. And the card that crosses it lets you know what can help you now or hinder you right now in this moment. So the card that's on the bottom is Strength, and what crosses it is the Queen of Wands. So you got Strength, and it is crossed by the Queen of Wands. This is very interesting. So strength. Strength is what it says. Strength, finding strength, being strong. But it's not just about, suffering and enduring and just being strong to suffer and to go through. But it's about, finding that inner strength within and knowing how to tame yourself. If you look at this woman here, she is, she's a woman who has two lions at her feet on this particular card. And, lions are known to be wild animals, right? When they're in the wild, they hunt, you don't want to be around a lion all unguarded and unprotected, right? But look at her. She is actually, taming the lions. And it's almost like taming the lions within you, knowing when to speak, knowing how to speak. Because some of you, it may not be that you're not speaking up or not communicating, but it may be how you're doing it that is not beneficial to you. So it's the Strength card reminds me a lot of self-discipline and also knowing your own strength. knowing what you can withstand, knowing what you can hold, and knowing what you can't, and knowing when you need to say, okay, that's enough. Because sometimes strength is not in enduring and suffering. Who can suffer the most? I personally don't like when we send this message, especially to women, but to men as well, that, it's, don't feel nothing, be strong, and suffer, right? And while there is something about going through the challenges of life that help to build character and to help you to know your strength, but strength is also in knowing when to say enough is enough, and knowing when to say, okay, just because I can endure all of this doesn't mean that I should. Just because, I can suffer in that way doesn't mean that I should be suffering, all of the time. And so strength is also knowing when to release certain things from your life and say, okay, in order for me to remain strong, I have to be able to take care of myself and love myself, which is very interesting because this card, strength, is crossed by the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands definitely knows that she is worthy. She is, she really gives me that goddess energy vibe. Let me look at this card. I mean, it's very much a butterfly and the sunflower and the yellow and the orange, and just that abundance that she brings. The Queen of Wands, whether you're a man or woman, I mean, she teaches us all to know our worth and to stand powerfully in it. All of the Wands cards deal with power and ambition and motivation and drive and your own personal strength and your own personal power. And so to have the Queen of Wands stand here for you today is like, knowing your own personal power, knowing your own magnetism, knowing what makes you an attractive person, not just on the inside, outside, but also on the inside, knowing your own worth. The Queen of Wands is, that queen that reminds us that, hey, I got to take care of myself. Self-care is important. Self-love is important. Taking those breaks to take care of yourself is important, and actually is in doing that is what helps you to build your strength, because if you're just strong and doing and going and going hard all the time, then sometimes people see you as that person. They're like, oh, he don't need no help, or she don't need no help, or she don't need a break, because she's always going strong all the time. But the Queen of Wands is reminding you that you are worthy of loving on yourself, and it's through that loving on yourself that you begin to actually attract the people and the circumstances and the opportunities in your life that you're desiring. The Queen of Wands is a queen of knowing that her very presence, when she steps in the room, commands the others in the room to come to her defense, come to her aid, provide what she needs. Her very presence causes people to want to open the doors of opportunity for her, because she's so confident in herself and she's so sure of herself, and she loves on herself because she knows that she's worthy of that kind of love and attention. She gives it to herself first. And so this week you were very much challenged to begin to love more on yourself, begin to pour that love energy into yourself, into every area of your life. And then that's when you can be like Kuan Yin also and begin to show that love and compassion to others, because you're giving it to yourself. So it's not just about being so selfish that you can't give to others, but it's about being so selfish that and self-centered in a healthy way that gives you the strength to then pour that love and that energy out into the world around you, into your career and into your relationships and whatnot. So the wisdom card that you all received, is Thinker, which is definitely a card about strategizing and contemplation. So I'm going to read the information that comes with this card and what you need to know, what message this card has for you. So Thinker, strategy, being analytical and logical. The ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and allow the logical path and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple, and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. So that's a very simple message. Keep it simple. Don't this week. Don't overthink. Don't just things are what they are. Things are what what you're seeing is believing for you all, especially with this, getting ready to experience that full moon in the sign of Gemini. And Gemini is a very much, because it's ruled by Mercury, it is an analytical card. It is logic and reason. And that's why Gemini energy is very fast paced and fast moving. It doesn't dwell on all of the details for too long. It sees things for what they are and it moves on. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's what it is. Okay, facts. All right. So those are the facts. All right. So I'm gonna move on. So see things for what they are. Don't overthink, don't overanalyze, don't stress yourself out trying to figure everything out. Just see things for what they are. Make your life simple this week. And also at the same time, when you see things for what they are, you can be more compassionate on yourself and on others, because you're not overthinking it. You're not overthinking whether or not you deserve compassion and love and self-care and all of that. You know that you do. So just do it. It's just that simple. So that is your reading for this week, Sunday, December 8th through Saturday, December 14th. Make sure you comment your card selections down below by Monday, December the 9th, in order to be entered to win our December giveaway. Make sure that you book your 2020 year ahead reading now while those are still available and they are still on sale, so that you can prepare for the upcoming year. Also, make sure that you go back and listen to the opening intuitive message and listen to this message that I gave here, because something may make more sense as the week goes on. So make sure you come back and listen to all of this throughout the week more than once. Click all the links below for all of the videos that I have, because that's going to help you have a better understanding of this reading as well. Leave a love offering or donation, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff, y'all. All right, so that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I'm wishing each and every one of you so much peace and love. Have a good week. All right, y'all. So welcome to the results for card group number 3. I will quickly go over the announcements for those of you who perhaps skipped ahead and missed them. Make sure that you comment your card selection by Monday, December 9th, if you want to be in the running to win our December giveaway. Make sure that you click down below to book your year ahead, your 2020 year ahead reading now while I still have those open and available. Also, make sure you go back and listen to the opening intuitive message where I talk about us being, yes, still in Sagittarius season, but also about to experience this full moon in the sign of Gemini, which is really going to challenge a lot of us to really begin to step out of our comfort zones. And so make sure you go back and listen to that. And then I also talked about a Facebook Live video that I did on Saturday, December 7th. And that link is down below, hopefully, as well. But in that video, I talked about the 3 things that we all need to be preparing for and doing right now in order to prepare to move up to our next level. And so, all of that is down below. And then also comment just how these readings are benefiting you. Subscribe to my channel, share these videos with others that you feel it could be useful for, and then to leave a love offering or donation. That link is down below. I greatly appreciate any donation. None is too small or too big. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the stone that is on top of your card deck is an orange or a yellow calcite. And calcite is one of those stones, absolutely love it. It helps to elevate that energy, that feeling of joy and happiness and contentment in life. It is one of those stones that really connects to the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, so it helps, you know, with your creativity, your joy, your self-confidence. But really, it's one of those stones, like if you're coming out of a low energy state or even a depressive, sad state, or if you're still in it, this is a stone that is very important to keep with you. Orange calcite. This one is raw. Sometimes you'll see them polished up and really shiny or whatnot. But you know, a yellow calcite really helps to encourage that love energy and that joy, and feeling that life is well, and renewed sense of hope in your life, and just overall happiness. So it's just a stone that's always good to have. So you know what I always tell y'all to do? Make sure you Google calcite, yellow calcite, if you want to know more about this stone. All right, so I'm filming this at a time I thought that the landscapers were done, but I can hear them outside, so I really hope that it doesn't get too loud in this video, so I might have to pause it if it does get too loud. I think they're blowing leaves or something. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, the card that's on top of here comes from a goddess energy deck. And the goddesses, I always shuffle the deck and just ask, you know, hey, which goddess wants to speak up to my audience this week? And so the goddesses speak to us all, whether we're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Whether we believe they actually existed, it doesn't even matter. It's more about their stories that teach us the lessons that we need to know. And so this week, December 8th through the 14th, we are looking at what we most need to know, do, and be aware of. You know, like, what do we need to be focusing on? Where should your focus be? And so the goddess that is speaking to you all, wow, this week is, I believe her name is pronounced Gula. That looks like Gula. And as you can see there, it says healing. You know what I always tell you, these readings are collaborative, so don't just wait for me to tell you something. If you're feeling something intuitively, you know, then that's also part of the message that is here for you this week. But Gula speaks to healing. It's very interesting that she has a serpent. It looks like a serpent ring on her finger. Let's see if that focuses. Yeah. And it makes me even think of like that Kundalini energy, but that energy that goes from the root chakra all the way up to the crown. And it's very interesting that you all got this yellow calcite, which deals with, yes, joy and contentment and happiness, and keeping you in that happy state if you're already there. But if you're in a lower energy state, it helps to elevate into, to bring you that happiness and that joy. So with her dealing with healing, whether it's healing of your physical body, healing of your emotions, your emotional self, whatever it is that you are needing healing for, it's really about already transforming yourself, your mental state, and telling yourself, you know what I mean, that brighter days are on the way, that healing is possible, that you're on your way to healing, and not just focus on, you know, the sickness that you're coming from or the sadness that you're leaving, but look towards where you are going. So I'm going to read two messages from Gula. The first one is her empowerment message, and then the second one is her alignment message, just in case you find yourself out of alignment with the empowerment message. So the empowerment message says, Gula, the Babylonian goddess of medicine and healing, has come to guide you as a blessing and for your well-being. You're being invited to address the areas of your life that need healing. Perhaps you have moved so quickly through your life that you've forgotten about self-care. Perhaps the stories you've told yourself about who you are need healing. We don't always see that we are hurting ourselves or others. Take heart, for Gula comes into your world as your ally, saying that now is the most auspicious time to focus on healing in all aspects of your life. Only good things will come from your actions here. In fact, now is also the perfect time when you can be assured that you can heal rifts with others as well. Be sincere and call upon Gula for this precious commitment. You may also be called to the path of the healer now? If so, the goddess Gula supports this wholeheartedly. You just need to be willing to respect others and do no harm. Miracles will arise as if out of nowhere. So, like it says, Gula is dealing with, she is the goddess of medicine and healing, but that healing can be physical healing that you're aspiring for right now. It could be emotional wellness. It could just be healing from, mindset states or mindsets of the past so that you can grow and elevate. Only the type of healing that you are needing in your life right now. And I want to say something too, because the empowerment message said that you may be called to the path of the healer now. And I know that we are in a time where so many people are using their talents and their gifts to help inspire, motivate, or even to heal others right now. And I find that so many healers are oftentimes the most sick, sad, and depressed people, the most lonely people sometimes, because on one hand, the healer is always pouring out their energy to help others, to heal others, but they don't oftentimes pour that same energy into themselves. So they wake up trying to figure out how to help heal others. They go to bed thinking about it. They exert so much energy and are oftentimes not rewarded properly, whether it be monetarily or otherwise, So be mindful not to allow yourself, if you are somebody who was called on the path to help heal others. That could be like, you could literally be a doctor. You could be someone who practices alternative medicine, somebody who does Reiki, massage therapy, somebody who does readings, right? Somebody who does, any of that kind of work. You just don't even understand how much of yourself is being poured out. So you have to make sure that you are doing the self-love, self-care is so important, and don't undervalue or underestimate your gifts. All right. So that was just my additional tidbit message. So Gula's alignment message says, excuse me, the goddess Gula calls you to recognize that you're running on empty. Wow. You have nothing left to give. You have reached the end of the road, and you must stop what you are doing and consider the implications of your action. Of your actions run amok. Do you need to set better boundaries around your enthusiastic tendency to say yes to everything? Have you allowed others to drain you because you feel it's your job to listen, love them, and fix them? Do your close companions cling to their victim stories and continue to impose them on you? Your alignment task is to step back and assess what is true and make new choices, and maybe put yourself first. You will be glad you did. Just remember, it is sometimes the healing choice to take a break and only focus on you for a change. Wow. I did not read this message. I didn't even flip this card over before I turned the camera on. So, I didn't know that it was going to concur with what I just said. But, even here where it says, and maybe put yourself first, I'm going to take maybe out of it. You need to put yourself first. Because selected card group number 3. So this is about your healing. And in order for you to heal, you do have to put yourself first. You have to put your needs first. You have to look at the areas of your life that need healing, need to be renewed, need to be, realign to a state of joy and love again, and happiness again. And so you can only look at what you need in order to do that. And if you're constantly pouring yourself out to others because you're like, well, I'll get to me later because she really needs my help. I'll get to me later because he really needs me to be there for him. And you're always putting yourself on the back burner, then you're going to run on empty, and you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to burn out. And Gula is here to remind you that this is the time for your healing. Again, we're about to move into 2020, into a new decade, a new era, and you don't want to do things in this new level of life the way that you've done them in the past if that has not been beneficial for you, okay? So, you know what I always tell you to do if you want to know more about this goddess, make sure you Google Gula, read her story. All of the goddesses have their own stories and mythologies that, help us to have a deeper understanding of the message and the lessons that they have for us, all right? So The cards that you receive here, the one on the bottom here is where you are now and what you know, the message that you need to know right now. The card that crosses it helps you to know what can help or what might could hinder you. And so the card that you received on the bottom is the Page of Swords, and it is crossed by the Knight of Cups. The Page of Swords, and is crossed by the Knight of Cups. So the Page of Swords is a card of aha moments, which is very interesting with it being a swords card. The swords are very much connected to the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And this is interesting because this week we are all going to experience a full moon in the sign of Gemini. And so we may have, or you may experience this week, some aha moments, some moments of clarity. Now with it being a Page of Swords, Page is kind of a youthful kind of energy. So it's like, you know, you get an aha moment, but you might not know necessarily what to do with that information. You may not necessarily know, you know, where to go from here, where to, you know, you might have the aha moment, but it's like, okay, but now what, you know? So you are encouraged to just take the aha moments at face value. You know, don't feel like you need to know everything. Don't feel like you need to know all of the details and the whole 10-point plan and everything else. But just, you know, be like a child who is learning something new for the first time, and then look at how you can apply, you know, practice what you learn, practice putting that new information into practice. And it may be something coming to you on, you know, how you need to move forward in your life, or what you need to be, you know, focusing on and moving on ahead. So for example, if it's something on self-healing, and you know, how to heal yourself, you know, a way to do that an idea may come to you on what you need to do, but it may be something you've never done before, right? It may be you might hear about, let's just for example's sake, you might hear about a new spa, right? And you're like, I ain't never gone to a spa, I've never gotten a massage, or it's been a long time, you know, and you might overthink it. And the Page of Swords is saying, well, just try it out. You know, you never know, you know, how that might be helpful to you. So what I'm really feeling is that many of you this week will have moments of clarity where, you know, your way to your healing will be clear to you, and you won't know all of the details on that path, but it's not necessary that you know. It's just a matter of you recognizing the information that's coming to you and attempt to put it into practice. What's very interesting is that this Page of Swords is crossed by the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is really about following your heart. You know, it's easy. You know, most knights are on their horse and they're roaring forward. They're challenging forward. But this card, this knight is sitting calmly on his horse, and he's got his cup in front of him, and it's like saying, keep your emotions in front of you, meaning what you feel will be emotionally fulfilling to you. Always keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on, you know, matters of the heart, things that matter to your heart. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship, but things that matter to you, things that are important to you, things that you feel, you know, the most about. Keep them, make them important, you know, which what I was saying to you when I was reading this message from Gullah, you know, you should be in that cup. You know what I'm saying? What should be, you know, most important to you, and most what is important to you as it relates to your emotional fulfillment and wellness and wholeness should be you. So, you know, things that matter to you should be at the forefront of your heart and your mind this week. Things that will bring you healing and wholeness should be at the forefront of your mind, swords, and heart, cups, this week. Bring alignment to your heart and your mind this week. You know, some things may seem logical on one hand, but on the other hand, you know, will it be helpful to your emotional wholeness and wellness? You know, always keep your emotional wholeness and wellness at the forefront of your action this week. With us having this full moon, whenever there's a full moon, it's like your willpower and your emotional power are challenging each other, right? They're facing each other. So you're really going to be challenged this week to look at how your own emotions are you doing the things that bring you emotional wellness and wholeness and fulfillment? Are you doing the things that are bringing you the wholeness that you desire and the healing that you need in your life? You'll really be challenged in that this week, to make sure that you're doing that, to make sure that you're always working and moving towards the direction of your heart, and keeping your heart whole, keeping your heart healthy, keeping your heart happy, and keeping you in a state of, where's that song? Oh, here we go. Of joy and contentment and happiness in life, and always going in that direction. And so you may look at them, they're facing off. So you may receive, these ideas on how to do that this week. And so then you are also challenged then when you see the ideas and when they come to your mind, to allow yourself, your heart, to be open enough to go in that direction towards those to those good ideas. And don't worry about having all of the details or knowing everything. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be open to the possibility of healing and wholeness and happiness. Happiness and joy and love and contentment are surely and definitely possible for you, as long as you keep yourself open to those possibilities. And so the wisdom card that you receive is here and now. This is really interesting because it's kind of self-explanatory, being in the here and now, not future tripping, not thinking and dwelling on the past, but thinking and being in the here and now, and knowing that your wholeness and your health and your wellness comes from your here and now. And I'll share, as I'm getting ready to read this, I'll share a quick personal story. A few years ago, I had two surgeries back to back. I had gotten sick and had one surgery, and then they found that there was something else that they needed to be taken care of. And so then I had two surgeries within like 3 weeks of each other. So after that second surgery, I was really like not feeling well. Like, I was ready to get back to feeling like my old self, and I just couldn't, walking was painful. I couldn't walk as fast as I was used to, couldn't move as fast as I was used to. And, I was spending a lot of time in bed. And then, there's different medicines I had to take, and it was just starting to not only keep me down physically, but then emotionally. I was like, gosh, I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of being in my room. I'm sick of, being in this place. And it's funny because it was around this time of year. Well, it was like late October going into November at the time when a few years ago when I'd had these surgeries. So I remember at some point just telling myself, okay, I'm done being sick. Like I literally said, okay, I'm done. That's it. Now, it didn't change anything immediately. Like I was still healing. My body still was going through the healing process. I still couldn't move as fast as I was used to. I still needed to rest and spend time in bed. But I put like the medicines I had to take at the time, I like put them in a drawer because I was like, I don't even want to see them on my counter because my nightstand was starting to look like, like a sick person's nightstand. You ever been like an elderly person or somebody who's sick and they always got all these prescription medicines? And I was like, I don't even want to see this. I know I still have to take these medicines, but I don't want to have to look at them all day. So I'll only take out the ones that I need when I need them. And so I started doing things like such as hiding the medicines or getting them out of plain sight so that my mind could be tricked into believing that I'm healed, right? Now, of course, like I said, I still had to continue to go through the healing process. But after that, the healing process really accelerated because I almost willed myself whole and happy and healthy again. And so I'm sharing that because had I not done that in at that time, in the here and now of that time, had I not said in that moment, I'm well, and really even set my room up to look like somebody's room who is well and healthy, then that that healing and recovery time probably would have taken way much longer. But because I set myself in that here and now in a place of wholeness and happiness and healthiness, even as I was still struggling with that, then my wholeness and healthiness and happiness came a lot quicker. So I'm sharing that because, sometimes we start to future think, and we start thinking that our wholeness will only come in the future. But when we set the standard in the here and now, then that is what brings about the changes that we are desiring in the future, right? So, and it brings it to you much more quickly. So here and now says being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. Everything happens in the here and now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. So if you're waiting for your happiness sometime in the future, if you're waiting on, certain things to change before you can have the healthiness, the healing, the happiness, and the contentment, then you'll always be waiting. That comes to you right now, and it comes as a decision. I know that for sure. Now your decision to have that happiness and joy may not change everything around you instantly, but it changes you, which then changes everything around you. All right. So that's very, very important as we are going into this week. And if you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, I really talk about, the importance, and I talk about it also in the Facebook Live, which I hope that post is down below, about the here and now being, how you change your future, how you change 2020. And even the reason why I have my 2020 year ahead readings available right now is because you don't focus on 2020 when you get there. You focus on it now. In the here and now, you prepare for it now, right now, right now. And that's how you begin to walk in that healing and that happiness and that joy, abundance, wealth, prosperity, and overall contentment that you are desiring for your life. All right. So that is it for your reading for this week, Sunday, December 8th through Saturday, December 14th. Make sure that you comment your card selections by Monday, December 9th to be entered to win our December giveaway. Like, subscribe, follow, share, and book your 2020 year ahead readings now while they're still on sale and while they're still available. And get the book, The Magic of Self-Love. I think that will be very, very helpful and useful to a lot of you because I actually guide you through the steps of using self-love as the tool to transform your life. All right. And so thank you all so much for watching. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. And may this week be wonderful for each and every one of you. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all. So that is it for our reading for December 8th through December 14th. Make sure you comment your card selections down below by Monday, December 9th in order to be entered to win our December giveaway. Make sure you go back and listen to the opening intuitive message and come back here and watch your results over again throughout the week, as something may make more sense to you later on in the week than it does right now. Make sure that you book your year ahead, your 2020 year ahead readings while they are still on sale and available. Get the magic of self-love, leave a love offering or donation, and always subscribe, like, follow, share, all of that down below. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching.